Hello and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today, we are talking about possibility and productivity. What is the impact of living in a world of infinite possibility and how that eventually can and will certainly influence your level of productivity. Thanks for being here. If you're new to the show, please hit that subscribe button, become a subscriber, get all these videos for free. I did say one, two, three, four, free. Holler at us. We also speak to groups and schools and organizations about being productive through joy. We have a really powerful and innovative series of presentations, workshops, and lectures are designed to enhance productivity, and they're rooted in a narrative approach, meaning we examine the story that people have been telling about themselves through their life, the story that people's lives have been telling about them in the present context, and the story that people would like to have their lives tell about them in the future context. A really interesting and innovative story-based approach. Again, go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us. Again, we speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. That's productivethroughjoy.com. Let me also say, for those of you who are new to the show, a few words about myself individually. Personally, this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people call my people, Will. And I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I am also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americus, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson, where, of course, Michael Brown was murdered. God bless this young man's family. Bless that mother. Bless Michael Brown's mom. Just the whole family there. Um, and the reaction, the conflagration that ensued following that murder initially, of course, began there in Ferguson and spread across the nation, and then eventually the world's um, spawning such great activism around the country and the world, fighting for life and our children and Black life in particular, which seems to be under assault in particular among under President 45. And so I got a little distracted, a little emotional thinking about this young man, Michael Brown, about to go to college. It's just like, as a dad, those stories really impact you, obviously. So anyway, so yeah, so that book is set, again, 13 miles from Ferguson, and it really interrogates the intersection between race, violence, and family in America. Really interesting look at American dynamics. I'm on my book tour for that book as we speak, so look for me coming probably to a town near you. Just got back from Atlanta, heading back east again following the holiday season. So look for me coming to a town near you. I'm also the board president of the World Stage Literary and Nonfiction 501c3 nonprofit here in Los Angeles. If you ever come to LA, you got to go to the World Stage. 7 days a week of workshops, performances, in the jazz and visual art, jazz and literary arts vein, really powerful workshops. And we have a press, literally publishing really powerful books. Just a really interesting nonprofit right off Crenshaw Boulevard in the Crenshaw District here in Los Angeles. Go to theworldstage.org to learn more about that organization. My own educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate. My master's is from UCLA, and my PhD is from the University of California at Riverside in in literature. I'm currently a professor of English Lit at LMU, Loyola Marymount University here in Los Angeles. I'm an expert at being productive, right? I don't say that to brag or boast, but people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity given how crazy my own personal narrative is. I am the product of a young girl who was raped at 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee, yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. Yet as Kool Modi famously said, "Hi, you like me now." And if I can be this productive and be this productive through joy, I know that many of us who are watching the show can do likewise. All right, so thanks for being here. become a subscriber, get on the train. Let's dive in. And so in the morning, we like to, and we'll tap again into our topic in just a second, which is possibility and productivity. We like to also in the morning show just tap into the ideal of framing your day before your day has a chance to frame you. At times, we will wake up with trouble on our mind, and that trouble has a way of following us throughout our day. And we like to help people just to deal with that idea and be able to effectively deal with problem management. All right, and so we do this in the context of a ritual. Ritual can be defined as doing essentially the same thing at around the same time. So let me give you a brief sample of my morning rituals. In the mornings, I wake up at 3:30 a.m., hella early. I read a couple spiritual or business books. I do our show right now at 4:45 a.m. At 5, I work on my current book until sunrise. And at sunrise, I walk out to the beach. I live here along the beach in Venice Beach, California. So I bring my drum, I go drum, I meditate, I pray, I do yoga. Then I come back, I work on my book at the house here. I work on my book a while longer. Then go back to the beach to run up the coast all the way past Santa Monica's Pier, all the way back here to Venice to go to my gym, Gold's Gym here, to get my workout in, get my buff on. So by 10:30, guys, I'm feeling amazing. My body is being flooded with endorphins, and that endorphin release gives me a sense of euphoria that I can then leverage to move myself towards my goals and objectives. We're not saying do what I do, we're saying do what you do, and we help individuals do just that very, very thing. So thanks for being here. So as a part of my reading now, I'm reading 2 great books. One is called The Datcher. It's subtitled The Key to Miracles. It's a book of ancient mysticism. I'm also reading a book on real estate investing right now called The Rich Dad's Guide to Real Estate Investing. So I tend to read business books and spiritual books. So from those 2 books, I extract some wisdom. I'm reading, which I call the morning chant. Today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, I rise to my divinity to live in a world of possibility. Once again, as a meditating natural mystic, I rise to my divinity to live in a world of possibility. So I contemplate that idea throughout the day, and I incorporate that idea. I put it on my phone. I think about that throughout the day, but also create the morning and afternoon shows. So today we're talking about possibility and productivity. So let's dive in. Point 1 is that you want to know that all things are possible. You want to live in that world of infinite possibility. I'm laughing because I know people are probably smiling as well watching the show. They're like, how is that even possible? How can all things be possible? How can infinite possibility exist? That is the question. And that's why the answer is A, it's certainly possible, and B, you have to be able to get into that space of possibility. Well, how do you get into that space? 'Cause just imagine for a second, if all things that you wanted that were not in support of someone's death or not in support of something that was negative, but things that you wanted to do good with were possible, how would that impact your life? Right? Just understand, just grab that idea for a second, all right? And so then point 2 is, how do you get that? Well, the foundation absolutely is tapping into your, I would just call your spiritual life, having a spiritual practice, having a morning ritual, as I just gave you my brief morning ritual, right? We're not saying do that, but having a way to consistently tap into the eternal, to the primordial, to that thing that which was here first. If it is true that God is infinite, all-knowing, and everywhere, and God is also inside of you, because if God is everywhere, God is God to also be inside of you. And if it is true that, as we've heard in many spiritual traditions, that humans are made in the likeness of God, that we show the attributes of God, that means we can access God and do what God can do, not to the same intensity or the same level, but do the same thing because we are qualitatively the same, which goes into point 3. As you embrace the idea and know that you can, through visualization, through various types of spiritual modalities, through meditation, that you can literally visualize and, of course, do your due diligence and do the things that God can do. You can become a creator. That means that all things are possible in the realm of possibility. As someone who's done many things like this myself, I speak to you from a space of absolute surety, because I've done it myself, and if I can do it, I know you can do it too. Boom, goes the dynamite. That's it for today's show. We air each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Go to productivethroughjoy.com. See about us. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.